It was supposed to be just another practice session. Just another warm-up. Just another doubles match on a Tuesday afternoon in Germany that nobody would remember by the weekend. But then Alex Eala did something that had absolutely nothing to do with tennis. Something so small, so quiet, so completely unexpected that it stopped an entire stadium cold. Cameras froze on the moment. Fans in the stands exchanged glances. And Venus Williams, 7-time Grand Slam champion, one of the most celebrated athletes in the history of sport, was left visibly, completely speechless. And here's the thing. That moment was just the beginning. What followed? A gesture of pure, unrehearsed class, a selfie that broke the internet, and words from both players that would be replayed millions of times across every platform on Earth, became the single most talked about moment of the entire tournament. Is this the moment that proved Alex Eala is destined for greatness? Not just as a tennis player, but as a human being. Let's go back to where it all started. Chapter 1. The partnership nobody could believe on one side of the net. A 21-year-old Filipino sensation who had just shaken the tennis world to its foundation. Alex Eala, fresh off victories over world number 2 Elena Rybakina and world number 8 Elena Ostapenko in Berlin. A player who had arrived on the tour like a thunderstorm. Fearless, powerful, impossible to ignore. On the other side, a 46-year-old American icon with 7 Grand Slam singles titles and 14 major doubles crowns etched permanently into the history books. Venus Williams. A name that doesn't just belong to tennis, it belongs to sport itself. Together they were about to write something neither of them would ever forget. For Alex, this was never just a doubles draw. This was a childhood dream that had somehow, impossibly, come to life in real time. She would later put it into words that captured the feeling perfectly. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'd have the privilege of competing alongside you on court. A pinch-me moment. That's what she called it. And you believe her completely. The timing made it even more significant. Just days before her historic Wimbledon debut, set to become the first Filipino player ever to be seated at a Grand Slam, this high-profile grass-court partnership was the perfect springboard. The perfect final preparation before the biggest stage of her life. Both players needed it. Both had suffered early singles exits at the Bad Homburg Open, Alex falling to Belgium's Elise Mertens, Venus losing a tight battle against Romania's Elena Gabriela Ruse. Both needed rhythm. Both needed grass-court match time. Both saw the doubles draw as exactly the opportunity they were looking for. There was one more layer to this story as well. Venus was already scheduled to reunite with her sister Serena for the Wimbledon doubles, their first tournament together in nearly 4 years. Which meant this partnership with Alex wasn't just a warm-up. It was a preview, a glimpse of something that could have been. And the tennis world was watching every single point. Chapter 2, On Court. Chemistry from the first point when they finally stepped onto the grass together on Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. The chemistry was immediate. Undeniable. Almost electric. They jumped to a commanding 4-0 lead in the opening set without blinking. Alex's sizzling baseline pace fused with Venus's timeless, lethal touch at the net. Two completely different weapons combining into something genuinely dangerous and genuinely beautiful to watch. In just 1 hour and 10 minutes, they had dispatched their opponents 6-3, 6-4. Clean. Dominant. A statement. The dream partnership had passed its first test with flying colors. But the real story, the story that nobody saw coming, the story that would travel far beyond any scoreboard, wasn't about the victory at all. Chapter 3. The moment that stopped everything. The match was in full flow. Alex and Venus had stormed to a 4-0 lead. The crowd was buzzing. The momentum was completely with them. And then came a changeover. The German sun was blazing down on the outdoor grass courts of TC Bad Homburg. Relentless heat, the kind that drains energy and tests focus. As both players retreated to their chairs, a ball boy appeared with an umbrella, ready to offer shade to one of them. What happened next lasted only a few seconds. Without hesitation, without thinking, without any self-consciousness at all, Alex Eala gestured to the ball boy and directed the umbrella toward her partner. toward Venus Williams. She insisted, quietly and completely naturally, that the shade go to the legend beside her. Stop and think about that for a moment. This is a 21-year-old player, one of the biggest matches of her career. Blazing heat. She is the one who has been running, grinding, fighting for every single point. She has earned that shade just as much as anyone on that court. And she gave it away without a second thought. Not for the cameras. Not for social media. Not because someone told her it would look good. Just because in that moment, that is simply who Alex Eala is. Fans in the stands noticed immediately. Cameras caught the exchange. And when the moment spread across social media after the match, the reaction was overwhelming. Because in a world where athletes are constantly under scrutiny, where every gesture is analyzed and every word is picked apart, this was something different. Something rare. Something real. The match ended, a resounding 6-3, 6-4 victory in 1 hour and 10 minutes. And when that final point was won, Alex didn't pump her fist wildly, didn't scream in triumph, didn't make the moment about herself. She stepped back. She clapped. And she gave the spotlight, just as she had given the shade, to one of the sport's most iconic figures standing beside her. A masterclass in humility. A lesson in respect. A moment that proved, beyond any doubt, that Alex Eala is not just a great tennis player. She is a great human being. And the tennis world was absolutely stunned. Chapter 4. The selfie that broke the internet the moment the final point was won. The eruption began. But it wasn't just about the scoreline. It was about everything that had come before it. The selfless gesture, the instant chemistry, the sight of two generations coming together to create something genuinely special on a grass court in Germany on a Wednesday afternoon. And then came the selfie. After the match, the two partners captured the moment together, not a staged photo opportunity, not a carefully planned social media post, not a PR exercise designed to generate headlines. Just two tennis players, one a living legend and the other a rising star, simply celebrating something they had built together. That simple, unscripted photograph became the most talked about image of the entire tournament. It spread across every platform with the speed of wildfire. Filipino fans watching from thousands of miles away flooded social media with celebrations that felt less like sports commentary and more like a national moment of joy. Hashtags trended within minutes. Match highlight videos racked up millions of views. Comments poured in from every corner of the globe. Alex Eala and Venus Williams, a dream team we never knew we needed. Watching Eala share the court with her childhood idol is everything. This is what tennis is all about. The best ride, the best tournament, the best partner. That last line? That came from Venus Williams herself, posted on Instagram, directed at Alex, for the entire world to see. The 7-time Grand Slam champion. The icon who had inspired an entire generation of players, calling a 21-year-old from the Philippines her best partner. Alex, overwhelmed with emotion and gratitude, replied simply, "So grateful for this experience." And then she shared her own heartfelt post, the one that captured everything. "Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'd have the privilege of competing alongside you on court. Immensely grateful to learn from you." The crowd in Bad Homburg had embraced this partnership from the very beginning. Every point won was met with thunderous cheers. Every extended rally drew the crowd to their feet. It felt less like a doubles match at a WTA tournament and more like something historic unfolding in real time. For Alex, the support was deeply personal. She had grown up watching Venus Williams dominate the sport. She had idolized the Williams sisters from afar, from a country where tennis had never produced a Grand Slam story before. And now she was sharing a court with one of them, and the entire world was celebrating right alongside her. The dream partnership had captured the hearts of millions. The first round was done. The quarterfinals were next. Chapter 5. The quarterfinal. When the dream met reality the very next day, Thursday, June 25th, 2026, Alex and Venus stepped onto court for their quarterfinal clash. Waiting for them, the second-seeded duo of Olivia Nichols and Teresa Mihalikova. A British-Slovak pairing in blistering form, fresh off winning the WTA 500 Queens Club Championships title and reaching the final of the Abu Dhabi Open earlier that year. Battle-tested, sharp, perfectly prepared for exactly this moment. From the very first point, the tone was different. This was a different kind of test entirely. Alex and Venus showed flashes of their first-round brilliance, briefly taking a 3-2 lead in the opening set, their chemistry surfacing in moments that reminded everyone watching what they were capable of. But then the second seeds found another gear. 6 consecutive games. The first set gone, 6-3. In the second set, Nichols and Mihalikova pushed to a 5-1 lead before Alex and Venus managed to hold serve and make it 5-2. But the deficit was too deep. The momentum had shifted too decisively. The second seeds closed it out 6-2. Final score, 6-3, 6-2. The dream run was over. The defeat was painful. There's no other way to describe it. Alex had missed out on valuable momentum heading into Wimbledon. Venus had lost another chance to sharpen her doubles form before reuniting with Serena. The partnership that had felt so full of promise just 24 hours earlier was finished, ended sooner than anyone had hoped. But here's what matters most. The defeat didn't diminish a single thing they had created together. Not one moment. Not one memory. Chapter 6, After the Loss. Words that will last forever in the quiet aftermath of the defeat. Both players turned to their own words to describe what the partnership had meant. Alex wrote with the same sincerity that had defined everything she had done throughout the entire experience. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'd have the privilege of competing alongside you on court. Immensely grateful to learn from you. And Venus responded publicly, called Alex her best partner, her best ride, her best tournament companion. Even their opponents were visibly moved by the occasion. Olivia Nichols called it a huge honor to share the court with Venus Williams, one of the true legends of the game, and acknowledged how remarkable it was to see her back competing. Teresa Mihalikova added that to play against Venus, and potentially against Serena at Wimbledon, was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. That says everything. When your opponents, the people who just beat you, come off the court talking about how grateful they are to have shared the court with you, you have done something far beyond winning or losing a tennis match. Closing, the legacy. What comes next in just 2 matches? 1 dominant victory, 1 heartbreaking quarterfinal defeat. Alex Eala and Venus Williams created something that the tennis world will be talking about for a very long time. A passing of the torch. A meeting of generations. A reminder, delivered quietly and without ceremony, that tennis can still produce moments of pure, unfiltered magic. Now both players shift their focus to the grass courts of Wimbledon, the grandest stage in the sport. Alex Eala, seeded 29th, making history as the first Filipino player ever to earn a seeding at a Grand Slam tournament. A milestone that would have felt like science fiction just a few years ago. Now it's simply the next chapter. Venus Williams, preparing for one of the most emotional reunions in the sport's history, partnering with her sister Serena in doubles for the first time in nearly 4 years. Back on the courts where they built their legacy together. Back where it all began. The dream partnership in Bad Homburg is over. But the memories it created, and the lessons that came with them, those last forever. Because this was never really about a doubles draw in Germany. It was about a 21-year-old from the Philippines who stepped onto a court with her childhood idol and showed the entire world, in the smallest and most human of ways, exactly the kind of champion she is becoming. The umbrella. The selfie. The words exchanged across social media after the loss. None of it had anything to do with winning. All of it had everything to do with greatness. If this story moved you even a little, hit that like button and subscribe to Tennis Unfiltered right now. These are the moments that make this sport more than just a game. Turn on your notifications, because the Wimbledon chapter of this story is just getting started.